You're not going to believe this, guys. The stories they be trying to tell about Donald Trump, it's ridiculous. And ever since this ABC News debate, I mean, things have been just really spiraling out of control. Then, of course, you've got the second assassination attempt against Donald Trump. I mean, it's crazy, guys. Secret Service is saying one thing, FBI saying something else. But guys, a few months ago, President Trump shared a video featuring the very outspoken patriot and fearless journalist Laura Loomer, where she candidly discussed how her dating life has been affected by her unapologetic support for Donald Trump and his America First agenda.
I dated somebody one time and they thought that I was, too focused on Trump.
Now, with a lot of these recent developments in their relationship coming to light, let's just say that there's a lot to unpack here. For example, there's now a lot of pictures that are actually circulating of Donald Trump with his arm around Laura Loomer's waist, sparking a lot of controversy about the nature of these two's relationship or connection. All right. So this actually comes after Laura Loomer accompanied Donald Trump to the presidential debate, where he spoke out very vocally against the flood of illegal immigration, particularly coming from Haiti. Now, this is a topic that Laura Loomer has been very vocal about as well. She's also joined him at the 9/11 Memorial, an event that's significant given Laura Loomer's outspoken questions about the events of 9/11, a stance that is shared by many people who are simply seeking the truth. Now, what is worth noting here is that there have been rumors regarding Donald Trump and Melania's relationship, including claims that they've basically been sleeping in separate beds ever since 2005, which of course the mainstream media is quick to latch on to that, which there's actually no concrete evidence that I was able to find behind these claims. It's very clear that the left and their media allies are just desperate to create any kind of scandal that they can, especially when there is none. So this new video, it only adds fuel to the speculation without any real facts. And basically all we can do is just keep asking questions and keep seeking the truth. Now, before we dive into what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social today, which by the way was classic Donald Trump, bold, honest, direct. And before we get into this, guys, all I ask is that you take a second, hit the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel for more news, for more updates. Let's go and get started. In this Truth Social post, President Donald Trump respectfully and rightfully calls out the toxic rhetoric coming from the radical left, particularly Kamala Harris during the corrupt and biased ABC debate, guys. Donald Trump, he's pointing out all these false statements by Kamala Harris and how these endless politically motivated lawsuits are designed to destroy his campaign and his legacy, have ultimately escalated the level of hatred, abuse, and distrust in our nation's politics. Now, of course, left-wing media, they're quick to twist his words and basically claim that it's Donald Trump himself who's actually the cause of this political tension. Can you believe this? I mean, this is clearly some bull. But let's be real here, guys. If the Democrats, who have ultimately weaponized rhetoric and the legal system to attack Donald Trump and pretty much anybody who dares to approach or oppose his agenda, from the Russian hoax to impeachment and now these ridiculous lawsuits, I mean, it's pretty clear who is really stoking division in this country. So Donald Trump is simply defending himself and he's calling out the blatant corruption and dishonesty of his opponents. So in this Truth Social post, President Trump is once again speaking truth to power, and he's not holding back when it comes to the radical left. In fact, he refers to Kamala Harris as comrade because of her policies, along with much of the Democratic Party, resemble a socialist agenda that many Americans are rightfully concerned about. Calling out this reality, it's not inflammatory. It's simply pointing out the dangerous direction which the far left wants to take our country. Are any of you guys concerned about that? I'm a little bit concerned. When Donald Trump says the ABC debate was rigged and highly partisan, he's not attacking the media without cause. The mainstream media has proven time and time again that they are biased. They're pushing their own narrative, meanwhile giving a free pass to Democrats like Kamala Harris, highlighting that this corruption, it's not inflammatory, it's necessary to expose the truth. Now, as for the ridiculous lawsuits, Donald Trump is merely defending himself against the relentless legal assaults that are clearly politically motivated. You got Fannie Willis in Atlanta. You got Jack Smith in Florida. You've got Judge Arthur Engeron and Letitia James in New York. Let's not forget about DA Alvin Bragg and Judge Merchan. They're all coming after Donald Trump. These lawsuits are not about justice, guys. They're about taking down Donald Trump and preventing him from fighting for the American people. So basically, the concerns that he raises about terrorists, criminals, and the mentally insane, they're being allowed to run rampant in our cities, and they're not baseless claims either, guys. I mean, just look at the crime rates in Democrat-run cities. It's common sense to demand safety and order for law-abiding citizens. In fact, the real extremism, it comes from those who deny these issues and continue to push policies that harm our country. Donald Trump's words may be bold, but they reflect the urgency of the problems that we're facing. Now, if anybody is acting extreme, it's the radical left for ignoring these dangers and attempting to silence anybody who dares to speak up. So President Trump, he's basically raising a very valid concern about the massive influx of illegal migrants. And of course, let's not forget about its impact on American workers, particularly Black and Hispanic patriots who've worked very hard to secure jobs in industries that are now being overrun by cheaper illegal labor. The left often mocks this issue, but it's not a joke to the countless Americans who are seeing their livelihoods threatened by uncontrolled immigration. The so-called Schrodinger's immigrant argument suggesting that Republicans hold contradictory beliefs about immigrants being lazy or taking all the jobs completely misses the point. What Donald Trump is talking about is a very serious economic issue where illegal immigrants are undercutting wages and they're taking jobs away from those who have worked very hard in these industries for years. These are real hardworking Americans who are being displaced, and Donald Trump is simply trying to defend their right to work and thrive in this country here, to be able to build equity, to be able to achieve the American dream, to increase their net worth. When Trump mentions that under Kamala Harris, the border would be wide open, he's pointing out the obvious fact that the current administration has been very soft on the border security lately. These low-skilled jobs may not require advanced education, but they do provide a foundation for millions of Americans who rely on them to be able to support their families. They're literally destroying the middle class, folks. These jobs aren't as replaceable as a lot of people might think, especially when entire industries depend on this labor to keep them running. Trump understands the bigger picture. Without strong border enforcement, American workers, especially minorities, they're left competing with an ever-growing pool of illegal labor, who, by the way, is very likely not paying any taxes, further driving up inflation and the national deficit. I mean, it's not about being anti-immigrant. It's about protecting American workers and making sure that our nation's laws are being respected. Legal immigration has always been a path to building a life here, but open borders, it hurts those who are already here, trying to make a living. Trump is standing up for them. I read a book a long time ago, and it basically said something that was really powerful and profound to me. And it said something along the lines of, look at your 5 closest friends, and typically your income is an average of your 5 closest friends. Now, with that being said, I was kind of like thinking, okay, well, how do I find people who made way more than me so I could increase my chances of having a higher income? I mean, it only made sense, right? For less than a cup of coffee a day, for less than $1 a day, join a powerful network of people who are ready to change their lives for the better. And I will be putting a limit on this group, so get in while you can. Be positively motivated by others who are also on the same pursuit. So I'm going to leave a link for you guys so you can join me over on the Life Pursuit Network in the description down below this video. So check it out, guys, and let's not be a victim of this great wealth transfer that is taking place right now. President Trump is once again speaking truthfully and passionately about the need to protect interests and the legacy of Black and Hispanic communities in America. When he says Kamala Harris is harming Black and Hispanic heritage, he's calling attention to the very real impact that unchecked illegal immigration and harmful policies have on minority communities, particularly when it comes to jobs, opportunities, and their ability to thrive. The left may try to twist his words, comparing them to apocalyptic rhetoric or even the language of white supremacists, but this is a dishonest portrayal. Trump's message is very clear. He's standing up for American citizens of all backgrounds who are being left behind by policies that prioritize illegal immigrants over their own needs. Black and Hispanic workers in particular have been hit hard by this, and Trump is defending their right to economic security, strong communities, and the protection of their heritage. This comparison to white supremacist rhetoric is nothing more than a smear tactic by the left. Trump's call to action is for everyone, regardless of race, to get out, register, and vote for policies that put American citizens first. He's not playing a desperate game. He's standing up for millions of Americans who feel forgotten by the current administration. And as for this clip with Laura Loomer, Trump is aligned with patriotic voices who share his commitment to protecting America's legacy, which, by the way, belongs to all of its citizens.
Trump was pushed out of the White House in this coup. And when President Trump left Washington, D.C., the truth left with him. And so there's a war on truth, and truth has become a radical concept in this country now. You are now a radical if you speak truth.
I have to ask you, Laura, you're single, correct?
Yeah.
So how intimidating are you for a fellow to ask you out?
Well, it's not like I'm vicious in that sense, but a lot of people just can't handle my lifestyle, and I'm very busy. Just, I'll tell you a funny story. I dated somebody one time, and they thought that I was, too focused on Trump, and they said that I gave my activism in support of President Trump more attention than I gave them. And it's like, yeah, that's right, because Trump is more important than you. Trump is going to save our country. And so you need to understand that President Trump is more important than you. And if you think that you're more important than President Trump, then you have some kind of delusional personality disorder.
So
that was the end of that relationship. President Trump's my #1 priority right now.
and so he should be.
Yeah.
Well, Laura, it's been great fun talking to you today, and I'll look forward to watching your podcast.
Now, the most interesting part of the situation with Laura Loomer, it's not her personal relationships being impacted by her admiration of former President Donald Trump. It's the simple fact that Trump acknowledged her dedication publicly on Truth Social, basically saying, hey, thanks, Laura. Now, guys, this speaks volumes about how much Trump values loyalty. Time and time again, guys, he has shown that loyalty is something that he deeply appreciates, and he rewards those who stand by him, often elevating their voices and giving them recognition. Now, of course, critics might say, oh, he's quick to criticize or even roast those who turn against him. But that's just simply because he places a high premium on trust and allegiance, qualities that are essential in politics and leadership. So when people are disloyal, especially in the face of false narratives or even media attacks, Trump doesn't shy away from defending himself and his position. Now, as for his relationship with Laura Loomer, this isn't anything out of the ordinary. Trump has always had strong, unique relationships with people who are willing to stand by his side and even fight for what they believe in. The leftist radical media may try and spin it one way, but Trump's history with people like Laura Loomer, it just shows his consistency in supporting those who support him. That's it. So when it comes to speculation, it's really important to stick with the facts. Trump has been targeted by the media and political opponents for years, even facing multiple assassination attempts. In fact, the second assassination attempt just took place on Sunday. Drop a quick amen if you guys are thankful that Donald Trump made it through that second assassination attempt, guys. But it's easy for rumors to spread, but what really matters the most here is Trump's unwavering leadership and the support that he receives from those who believe in his vision for America. His history of surrounding himself with strong women, whether in business or politics, it's a testament of his confidence and his willingness to collaborate with anyone who shares his values. And I think it's very clear that Melania Trump understands that. Now, in this article, the media is once again taking shots at President Donald Trump for his association with Laura Loomer, a very fierce and unapologetic activist who has supported Donald Trump's America First agenda for years. Laura Loomer's comments about prioritizing Trump over any boyfriend in her life, it really just kind of reflects just how much respect and admiration that she has for the president's leadership. Now, the clip went viral because it pretty much just underscores the loyalty that Trump inspires in those who believe in him and his vision for the country. Critics have scrutinized Donald Trump's relationship with Loomer, especially after she's been seen exiting his campaign jet before the ABC News presidential debate. A lot of people are asking, hey, what are Donald Trump and Laura Loomer doing on the jet before the ABC News presidential debate? Now, I can't confirm or deny what exactly they're doing on there, but I'm pretty sure it's on the up and up. However, what's really important to note is that Donald Trump has always had strong relationships with supporters who share his values, regardless of how the media tries to spin it. When Loomer made controversial comments about Kamala Harris, Trump did what any strong leader would do. He distanced himself from the remarks, meanwhile remaining focused on his campaign and the issues that matter to the American people. The left is quick to label anything they don't agree with as racist. But it's important to separate the noise from the facts. Trump has consistently stood for equity and opportunity for all Americans, and he's not going to be dragged down by the media's attempt to paint him like in a negative light over comments that he didn't even make. Now, as for Loomer, while her statements may have been provocative, it's definitely worth remembering that political discourse often gets heated on both sides. Trump has never endorsed racist rhetoric, regardless of what the media says, and his main focus, it remains on unifying the country and fighting for the rights of all Americans. The media, well, they're probably just going to continue to twist things up, but Trump's leadership, it speaks for itself. There's been a lot of rumors swirling around on Twitter about the nature of former President Donald Trump's relationship with Laura Loomer, but let's be clear. These are just rumors, nothing that has been confirmed. And as always, I think it's important not to jump to conclusions based on speculation. Trump has always been a larger than life figure, and naturally people want to talk. But until something actually gets verified, I think it's up to everyone to form their own opinions. Now, in the video we just saw, Laura Loomer passionately defends Donald Trump's 2020 election loss, stating that the system wrongfully denied him victory. Meanwhile, some critics claim the opposite, arguing Donald Trump tried to challenge the election results in various ways. Loomer's loyalty and belief in Trump's cause never wavers. Her support for Trump is unwavering, and she has consistently stood by him as a defender of his vision of America. And as for her personal life, Loomer shared how her dedication to Donald Trump often affects her relationships. She even told her boyfriend that Donald Trump is more important than you. While this might sound a little bit intense to some, it shows just how committed she is to the America First movement and Donald Trump's leadership. It doesn't mean that she's dating Donald Trump on the side or that Laura Loomer is Donald Trump's side piece. It doesn't mean that. In the end, both Donald Trump and Laura Loomer are targets for criticism from those who just don't align with their values, but their focus remains on the bigger picture, fighting for whatever they believe is right for the future of America. Now, if you guys appreciate what I'm doing here on the channel, help me to share the truth. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video on social media, Facebook, Twitter, X. And if you want to join us over in our Patreon community, we are growing like a weed over there, guys. Get early access to content and content that I just can't share here. I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side, and I'll see you guys on the next one.